Hello, it's Tom again, and in this series of videos, what we're going to do is look at the topic of generics in C#. Generics roughly corresponds to the topic of templates, which we've covered, if you're a student of mine anyways, we've already covered in C++. So in the videos that follow, we're going to start off by looking at nullable types, which is actually achieved in C# through a generic type. We're going to look at a couple of the generic types that are built into .NET for collections, so a generic list and a generic dictionary. We're going to take an existing class that I've written for you and we're going to convert it into a generic class. We'll also look at generic methods that aren't necessarily in generic classes, so that's one thing. And then we'll wrap things up with a look at creating generic structures and generic interfaces. Now, there's another topic that relates to generics that's probably pretty important for you to know, and that is the concept of variants, as well as creating generic interfaces. This particular video series is a little bit packed with this introduction, so I think I'll put those two topics in a separate video series sometime in the future for you. So if you are one of my students, you have access to this starter solution. And in the starter solution, there is the Using Generics project. So you can use this file to follow along with the exercise. I'll just give you a quick orientation to what you're going to find in here. First off, of course, the program.cs, the program class with the main method. This has already been coded for you. It's just basically in main, in a try block, I create a menu of the various different things that we're going to work on as we go through to demonstrate. The user enters a choice, and then depending on their choice, we call a static method that just demonstrates each of these topics discretely. There's a catch block in case there's any exceptions that we want to see. It just shows what the message and type of exception is. And then, of course, it just pauses the output so we can actually see it. So we've done this kind of thing. I did this kind of thing in my last tutorial, so you've seen this before. I'll just shrink that up. The rest of the stuff in the program class are the static methods where you're going to be coding the demonstration for each individual type. Right now there's comments in most of them, all of them, I suppose. So we'll actually complete those as the videos progress. So that's the program class. One of the first other classes that we'll look at is the grade class. So in grade.cs, the grade class has actually been defined for us already. It represents a student grade. I'll go into it in detail in the next video, but we're going to be modifying this class to make use of nullable types. Also available in the project, you'll notice there's a number of other files like iCoordinate, T. This is where we're going to be adding a generic interface. There's precisepoint.cs. There's a couple of classes defined in there, similar to the Cartesian point class we've used in previous examples. I've got a base class called precisepoint and a derived class called labeled point. There's something called simple point, which is just a simple structure, and you can see we're going to create a generic point, which is going to be a class template. So these various different files. What am I missing? Oh, there's another class that's defined for you called pairing. So again, it's all coded. We'll step through it in it's not the next video, but one of the videos in the series. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to change this class from its current state into a I'm going to say class template. I'm going to do that all the way through, but a generic class. So that gives you a bit of an orientation to what we're going to talk about, at least in this video series, and what's in the starter file. So next up, we'll deal with nullable types. Thank you very much.